You're listening to the Straight to Video podcast with Rob Lane.
What is up? How you doing? And thank you big time for checking out my show Straight to Video. As always, I'm your host Rob Lane, and like everyone here in the UK, I'm currently basking in all this amazing weather we're having as we head into festival season. Speaking of festivals, as you listen to this episode, if you're catching it on release day, I have a couple of festivals coming up. One this Sunday with Let Loose at Earlham Live, but just to time travel a little and turn back the clock, I'll have just yesterday performed at Call of the Wild Festival with both of today's guests, father and son team of Ian and Jake Slack, as part of the Needful Things. Now I'm going to say we were awesome, but as I speak to you right now, we've not yet played, but trust me, we were. Now, I've been long-time friends with Ian from the underground rock scene of the early 2000s, back when I was in Teenage Casket Company and he was out fronting Drug Dealer Cheerleader. I go on to fill in on bass with DDCL for many, many shows and tours, and he's one of my favourite people on the planet. He'd host great parties, and I get to know his son Jake way back, offloading my old Star Wars toys to him, but more importantly, seeing him grow into a bona fide rock star in front of all of our eyes. Already he's outshone us all. He's appeared in School of Rock on the West End before forming the band Chapter 13 to get the golden buzzer on Britain's Got Talent, and now he's in the band Mattered, who are heading out on the Needful Things dates with us before they ultimately hit it big. We're just a stepping stone, you see. I thought it would be awesome to get both Ian and Jake on the show to chat about their musical journeys and the relationship they have, and it turned into a really fun talk. So I hope you enjoy my straight to video chat with the awesome Ian and Jake Slack. Have I got you?
Yes.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it was my old antiquated laptop. So I'm back up to technology levels now.
Nice. How long's it been since you've done a Zoom call on that?
On that one, God knows, probably about 2 years.
Okay.
I did see the version I had was like 1.5 away from where it was. So yeah, it was a million miles away.
Last done in the pandemic or something like that.
Yeah, probably that was it, yeah.
Not many people get the chance to say they've played in a band with the son, or vice versa, get to play in a band with the dad. Seeing Jake get so heavily into music from such a young age, how cool was it for you, Ian, to be on stage with him for the first time? When was it? Was it the Hard Rock Hell Sleaze a couple of years ago, or had you done something before then?
Yeah, it was, yeah. We had a few guest players come on, and Jake was one of them. And I mean, it was a massively proud moment for me because I know how good a guitar player he is. And just like looking to the side of me, seeing him like slam it out, it was amazing. Yeah, it was a great experience.
Did you have any different nerves, Jake, to doing it that way? I mean, you've done some, big gigs, bigger than me and your dad have done ever and ever will do. But was there any nerves in that kind of situation?
Only the normal stage nerves that you get, I think. And just, I hope I play good. Because we were also, bed was next to me as well. And so I was like, oh, crap.
Do you know what annoyed me the most, though, about that gig? Was the fact that you got all of the pictures. When all the pictures came out from Hard Rock Hell, he was only on stage for one song. And there was about 4 or 5 of him and only one of each of us.
There were loads of Bertie as well who got up on bass for one song as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
There was a good one of me and Laney as well.
Yeah. But yeah, it was all right.
Do you think it was always inevitable, Jake, that you'd go into music, what with your dad being in bands and such a music fan himself, always going to gigs? I guess it's always surrounded you for as far back as you can remember. Do you recall any early times you either heard a song or saw a video and thought, this is pretty cool?
Well, I definitely remember there always being musicians around the house. And I remember there always being a guitar case somewhere by the stairs or something. And I remember always thinking, because I never really got to see him because it'd be like in the case until it's in the garage and then it's in the case again. And I never got to see.
Did you ever get up in the morning and there'd be people sleeping on the front room carpet?
Probably.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of that. Yeah. So it wasn't just the bands that I was in. We used to have touring bands would sometimes come and stay over and stuff. I'd let them kind of, go and crash over.
That's dangerous. I don't recall any of that.
Yeah, that's because we drugged you.
No, it just took me to school. So I remember some gigs that we went to. I mean, there was a lot of gigs that we went to be fair. So I kind of think it was inevitable they'd be interested in music because it was just always there.
Was the first gig that we took you to, was that ice cream festival at Ben and Jerry's thing?
Yeah, so it was the Wonder Stuff was the first gig.
Yeah. Pretty cool first gig, right?
It is, but the first gig I actually remember was Bon Jovi
Yeah.
with Ringo and Nibs.
Yeah, there's some pictures with you on Ringo's shoulder, I think.
Yeah, well, I remember him coming out in he had like his red military jacket thing on. It looks really cool because even from so far back, he's there.
Was that a Wembley Stadium gig?
Hyde Park, wasn't it?
Hyde Park, yeah.
So did Ringo go to the Wonder Stuff gig as well? Surely he was there at that one.
Don't think so. I think it was just us, just me, Jake and his mum, and lots of ice cream.
Yeah.
I think there was an air guitar competition as well.
I have pictures from that as well.
Yeah, so there's loads of pictures from when Jake was younger with a guitar of some sort in his hand, just like throwing shapes and stuff. But the Ben and Jerry's thing was the best because they had this stage where you could get on the stage and do air guitar.
Just with a bunch of you and these like older guys. I think when you look at the pictures, they gradually are putting more like things on me, like curly wig and a top hat and then angel wings. But I won the competition.
How old was you then?
6 or something.
Yeah, I was really young. And even then you had a talent, but you didn't have a guitar in your hand.
Never a real guitar.
You could throw the shapes back then.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is really the most important part.
Yeah, that's the bit that people remember. Who were some of the first bands which you kind of gravitated to? I mean, you're hearing it all the time in the house and all that kind of stuff. But what was the kind of the first ones where you thought, hey, this is pretty cool. I'd like to hear some more of that.
I actually think that the earliest ones that I remember, I mean, there was obviously like your Guns N' Roses, AC/DC type stuff. But I think the first ones that I really got into myself were sort of the indie bands like Kaiser Chiefs and Fratellis and stuff like that. And like Green Days and all of them. And then as I got slightly older, just from playing like Guitar Hero, we used to play Guitar Hero all the time. I learned a lot more music from that. And as soon as I got to the Tom Morello like guitar battle, the Rage bit, I was just sold on that. And then Rage has been my favorite band since then. So that was the first one I really connected with. And the first album I ever bought on my own.
And the first cover song that you ever did, isn't it? So I'll embarrass Jake now.
That's why we're here.
Yeah. So obviously some of the lyrics from Rage, maybe not broadcastable.
Bit tasty.
Bit tasty. So we made his own lyrics up. So instead of killing in the name of, he was singing, so you give me some ice cream and give me some ice cream.
It was about ice cream. What was the hook? Messing with the sauce.
Messing with the sauces. Messing with the sauces. Yeah, so that was good. And there was another one. Instead of sex is on fire, we had your socks are on fire. So that was good. We've been invented with lyrics.
Oh, that's mint.
I was listening to Rage properly in my headphones at Grandma's house though, because I think she actually ended up buying it for me. Because I think we were out somewhere and I wanted to buy it because I knew the band and I don't think they'd let me buy it because I was really little. And I think Grandma bought it for me.
Did she? I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure.
She didn't know either, did she?
No,
She
probably
had
not.
no clue.
It's like, what do you want, Jake? I'll treat you.
Yeah. Fuck you, I'll do what you tell me.
Yeah. I remember listening to that whole album a good few times. I was just jumping on the bed and I thought it was just wicked. And it's still one of my favorite albums.
I mean, that guitar solo, you used to nail it as well. You know, the really crazy one with all the noises and bleeps and stuff.
Well, I was always wanting pedals and stuff. And I remember, I think I was doing all right at school. I had a good parents' evening and Mum bought me the wah-wah pedal. It was just a really cheap Amazon job wah-wah pedal, but it still got the sound to get like that Balls on Parade like thing.
Got the job done. How cool was that for you, Ian, to like hear that coming from the bedroom? That must have been shit up.
Oh, mate.
He was like, yes.
I was just so glad that he's into proper music. I think there's obviously at school, the other kids were not really into that sort of stuff. And Jake also, he used to have really long hair. He used to have long blonde hair when he was a kid. So he looked like one of those little rat boys out of The Lost Boys, the little boy who becomes a vampire.
Oh, laddie.
Yeah, laddie. He looked like him.
Min.
So he's really cool. So he had a look and he could also play guitar pretty quickly. Yeah, I was really pleased. And hearing all of the stuff he was into, it kind of made me feel warm inside.
Yeah, well, there was a few albums as well that you had with the vinyls, and there was a few that God knows how many times I listened to. Like the ones that I remember very clearly were like, there was a Queen album, but then there was Van Halen 1.
Oh, man.
And again, that's still one of the best albums for me, just in terms of guitar playing and energy and bollocks.
Absolutely, man. Wicked. How does that contrast to you then? 'Cause we're hearing generational things here, like things like Guitar Hero is influencing people nowadays. But how does that contrast to you? Was you as young as Jake when hard rock and metal came into your life?
I do remember it. I mean, the thing is, when I was really young, we didn't have a lot of music around the house, and it was only pestering to get a record player that got me there. And I remember like the first single was Save All Your Kisses for Me or something like that, you know, quite poppy nonsense. First single I actually bought was the Lotus Eaters' First Picture of You. That was my first single. And then I bought an Elvis album. I was into Elvis when I was younger. When I went to secondary school, I kind of met up with a few people who were into rock and metal. And that's where it really started. And it was stuff like Iron Maiden and Saxon and Magnum particularly. I was really into Magnum early doors. We used to go to Sheffield City Hall. That was the venue of choice. You know, I remember seeing Alice Cooper there and stuff.
What Alice Cooper tour was that?
Well, put it this way, we were front row. There was lots of gore. A lady had her head chopped off and then staggered around the stage and sprayed blood into the audience and things. And yeah, I think there was a massive spider on stage. I don't know. He had his head chopped off with a guillotine. All of that stuff.
Essential.
It was pure theatre. It was brilliant.
As long as I've known you, you've been based down south, but you're originally from Barnsley area. What was like the local record shop or anything around there?
Oh, yeah. Casa Disco. Yeah, in Barnsley Town Centre. That was the place to go. And I remember going in there and they used to have these little packs of 12 inches. I think they were £1 and you get 5 12 inches in there. On the front bit, you could see like, that looks like a rock band. I've never heard of them, but they look like they've got long hair. And you take your lucky pick like once a week and go home and then, you know, in the middle of it, it'd be a load of shit. And you might as well just chuck them out of the window. But, you know, at least you'd get one 12 inch. And a couple of times I got, got lucky with a couple of 12 inches from that. And again, it was about exploring music because you didn't really have exposure like you have now where, you know, you just go onto Spotify and randomly choose. Back then it was like, you just have to take a punt on, you know, the cover looking good. They look good. Let's have a go at that, see what happens. And then suddenly they're like, you know, oh, Bonfire's my favourite band, you know, stuff like that.
Did you always want to be a singer?
Yeah, I think, well, actually, it started off where we decided to form a band at school with my mates. And I couldn't play guitar, but I was nominated to be the guitar player. So what we did, we pooled a bit of cash together and we went to Sheffield to this second-hand guitar shop and bought a Les Paul copy, a black Les Paul copy. Piece of shit it was, you know. I had no clue how to play it, but we proudly took it back on the train back home and that. And it was then my mission to learn how to play guitar. I didn't even have a clue where to start, to be fair. That's where the band stalled for a while because I was like, I had no patience at all.
Well, I remember the first day I got a guitar. I got it off my friend. I brought it for like a £5 or something. I vividly remember the day coming back, sitting in my bedroom with it on my knee and like, I have literally no idea what to do in this situation.
Yeah, also, you've got like a guitar, but no amp. You've got nothing to plug it into. You're expecting to go, like, you know.
Yeah, you never heard an electric guitar with no amp at that point in your life.
Exactly. And it's crap. Bling, bling. Yeah, terrible. And so what happened was I decided I didn't want to be a guitar player and I wanted to be a singer instead. But I couldn't sing, which was the problem. So I went from a guitarist who couldn't play guitar to a singer that couldn't sing. But then I decided to learn how to sing and I sort of self-taught myself. And I remember singing, my first song really of sort of singing in front of people was Photograph by Def Leppard.
Wow.
And, you know, it kind of went from there really.
What was the first thing that brought you down to London? Obviously, you moved down London eventually, but did you ever come down to see any bands or in a band in Barnsley coming to play down to London or anything?
Actually, yeah, I think I was about 16 or 17. I think I was 17 maybe. And I had family down in London. And so me and one of my heavy metal mates decided to go and stay with my cousin down in London. And we went to the old marquee on Wardour Street randomly, right, to see whatever was on. And it turned out to be Rock Goddess who were headlining. And they were supported by this new band, this up-and-coming band from Scarborough called Little Angels.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and it just randomly, you know, I was just randomly there. And back in them days, I was a total geek. And I had an autograph book. And I had my autograph book with me. And I remember like getting all Little Angels autographs.
There can't be much age difference between you and those guys. They were really young though, weren't they?
Yeah, they must have been about 20 and I was like 17 or something like that. But a young 17. I didn't have a bleeding clue what was going on. I was so impressed by Little Angels. They were amazing. They blew me away. And the next day I went to Shades and bought Too Posh to Mosh.
Nice.
At Shades Records. And their 1987 12-inch, their debut 12-inch, which I've still got. And it's all signed by the original lineup. I'm still a massive Little Angels fan. I'm looking forward to seeing them on their comeback tour so much.
I've had a couple of run-ins with Bruce, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So he's turned full circle now because Bruce Dickinson, Little Angels Bruce Dickinson, he's involved with Water Bear.
That's where I met a load of my current bandmates.
Right.
They went all to Water Bear, and us and our manager were like looking for musicians, and we thought, well, we'll go to a music uni because they're people similar age and we'll just see who's the best, pretty much. So we've had some opportunities through Water Bear, like playing different gigs at their venues type thing. And there was one that they got us on that was sort of a classic rock night, and we supported, and it was sold out. It was packed in this little weird shaped venue. And then it was sort of like an all-stars band, and Bruce Dickinson was on stage. I remember seeing his like Fish guitar, and I thought it was really cool.
I always remember seeing the Fish guitar crop up in a Son of Dork video, the band that James Bourne.
Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, so there must be some connection. He must have been working with bands, younger bands around that time. And
he was a lovely guy, and he was like showing me his amp and all this stuff, and we were just talking about guitars and all sorts of cool stuff. And we actually thought it was probably the worst gig we've ever played because of the just technical difficulties and stuff. But through Bruce Dickinson, we got a download slot last year.
amazing.
We kind of joke about that because it's probably our worst show. Not because of our fault, but it was technical stuff. But that was the one that got us download.
You say you never know.
Bruce started working with Andy Coppin on some stuff. So was like, yeah, get these guys on. And then we did. And it was awesome.
How was the download show? Was you there for that one, Ian?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I was. When I was so proud, such a proud dad. I was in the audience, and it was very dusty in the tent, I have to say.
Very dusty.
Very dusty. There's quite a few tears in my eyes, and it was just a massively emotional moment. I couldn't really speak because they absolutely smashed it. They nailed it. I had a really good audience in there because they were on quite early, and it was in District X, but they'd done a lot of flyering the day before, which is old school and it works. So anybody who's listening to this, go out and flyer and speak to people. That's the only way to differentiate yourself from everyone else. Yeah, they did that, and then loads of people came along and they smashed it out of the park.
Love it.
That's always been a dream because of going to download when I was young with dad. The type of music we play as well, just playing download, but having a good audience that was really connected, but then also having some energy and having some pits and stuff. And we got that, and that's felt special.
Ian, how was the London scene for you when you actually came down and started Water Brats? I mean, it must have been buzzing because did Water Brats begin in like December 89? Is that right?
Yeah, about then, yeah.
And you're around well into the 90s. I mean, people will say that your style or music, it was done for back around 91, 92. But I've seen footage of you playing in 94, I think, and it still appears to still be on fire even then. So what are kind of like some of your fondest memories of that time? Whilst you didn't have the big record deal, did it still feel like you were very much part of a scene and making waves around town?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it started off reasonably slow because we started off as a university band, like played a talent competition at uni and won that. And then we got another talent competition and won that. So we had something there that was connecting. But in terms of the scene, the sort of scene was all the choir boys and Last of the Teenage Idols, Gunfire Dance, all of that sort of stuff. Sleaze and, rock and roll type stuff. It was brilliant. The Hellfire Club, I remember got very fond memories of that, where everyone gravitated to. Intrepid Fox, the ship, Royal George, some amazing places in and around London. Garlic and Shots, still there.
Still going there.
But it was such a great scene. And these days, obviously, you've got mobile phones and stuff like that. We didn't have any phones at all, back then, but you knew where people were going to be. So you just go and then you meet your mates every week, So it was an actual scene. And you even had your place where you would go and sit. I remember in the Hellfire Club where my seat was, One time, actually, I fell asleep in the Hellfire Club. I think I'd overdone it a little bit. And I remember the cleaning lady hovering up around me. I'm waking up. I don't know why they didn't kick me out. But anyway, it was ridiculous. But yeah, I think because we were all faces on the scene, and we used to know Shuff really well. I still know Shuff really well. He's an icon of that scene. It was like Shuff and Butts and Spike back in the day, but became really good friends with Shuff, and he really looked after Water Brats, and he used to always put us on the guest list for the clubs and stuff. So that made us feel cool and, going around kind of on the guest list and all of that. And because we were young and pretty, we attracted a lot of interest as well.
Was there ever a rival band to Water Brats?
Yeah, we did have rival bands. Well, I wouldn't call them rivals because they were nowhere near as good as we were, but...
That's what you're supposed to say.
Yeah, I don't know if I should mention anyone. I'm actually mates with Steve Vincent now. I don't think we were mates back in the day. I think it was like Paradise Alley and Water Brats were kind of loggerheads, but they're still going. But yeah, we were quite different in terms of like energy, and we were more punk and they were more sleaze. But I think, yeah, there was a few bands out there that were a bit jealous of us. We got to play the marquee and, we're doing really well. We were regularly doing like between 300 and 400 people in the marquee, and we would get the good supports, supporting some decent acts.
Did you ever do the Astoria?
We did this story twice, but the one that was really good in terms of recognition and just memories was we supported Demolition 23 there. And I remember on the outside of the story, it was like those old letters that they stick. I don't know if you can imagine, like the billboard sort of thing.
Slider.
Yeah. And it said, Demolition 23 plus Water Brats. That was just epic to see that out there. And they didn't do many gigs in the UK, Demolition 23. So it was pretty iconic. And I got to meet Michael Monroe backstage and everything. And it was epic. It was an epic gig. And we went down really well as well.
Jake, how much of your dad's bands have you dived into? Do you have a favourite between Water Brats or Drug Dealer Cheerleader, or more later, was it Fly High Michelle you did?
More recently, yeah, when I got back on the horse, yeah.
Well, I heard a lot of that stuff because I was helping Dad lay down his vocal tracks and stuff like that. But I think I remember a lot more of DDCL. So I've heard a lot more, and I could probably tell you more songs and probably sing you more songs of DDCL than I could Water Brats. So I've only really heard more Water Brats in the last maybe 5 years-ish, since you did TNT before.
Yeah.
And just seeing some videos.
I guess the thing with Water Brats is that everything was just all on tape, on cassette tape, or demos and stuff. We never released a vinyl record or a CD. So I guess like doing the needful things and bringing back a Water Brats song each tour has been interesting.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you got to see him play on stage and what you thought? He certainly embodies a different persona when on stage.
I have some memories of a couple of gigs back when I was really little, but not that much. I remember a couple of bits. I remember like there was one time, I can't even remember where it was. I'm probably going to get confused with the location. I would never know the venue because I was way young, but I remember going and sitting on Ringo's drums once.
I do a lot of pointing on the stage.
Yeah.
It's important. By pointing at people, it makes them feel important. I point at you a bit, don't I, Rob?
Jake, you've already had like an insane journey through music, starting super early when you got your first guitar at 7, I believe.
I think so, yeah. First proper one, first electric guitar, yeah.
Was that something you asked for, or was your dad like, here, learn this?
Yeah. No, it was definitely something I asked for, but I think it was kind of obvious. I don't think I'd have to ask. They knew I'd be happy with it because, I had so many like pretend guitars and stuff like that. And I don't even know where it went now, but I had like this orange classical guitar that I'd play. I don't know what happened to that, to be fair. But yeah, that was the first guitar. And I was, gradually learned a few things. I mean, now that I teach, I still teach the first thing I ever learned, which is really weird. It's just like doing your G note and then you're moving it down to a C note, just the 3rd fret stuff, and then doing like basic E chord and a basic A chord. You can get a bit of single note stuff straight away, and it felt really cool.
I remember a babysitter once teaching you to play Seven Nation Army
as well, yeah. Yeah, random, that one. But yeah, just a guy came over and he just played a bit of guitar, I think.
Yeah.
While they were out, and he taught me Seven Nation Army. I remember that one.
Did you take to it pretty naturally then? I don't want to say easy, but it felt easy to dedicate the time to practicing.
Oh yeah, I loved it though. Even before I picked up a guitar, I was on that route, I think. I mean, there was loads of stuff I wanted to play, but I just couldn't fathom it.
I think you had the moves before the playing, didn't you? Seeing all of these iconic players on video and watching them together. And then, you used to prat about a lot, got all the moves. And then actually the talent came later.
Kind of. But I think there was a few guitarists that I knew were really good. Like I knew that Slash was really good, right? And I looked at him. But I think at the time, because I was young and I didn't really know much, it didn't feel that out of reach, I don't think. They're obviously way up there, but, I don't know. I just had a bit of a drive towards it. And I think it was almost naivety about what you're actually doing. It's kind of tunnel vision and just playing.
You got the role of Zach in the West End production of School of Rock, which saw you on like billboards all over the capital and met with rave reviews. How did that all come about?
That was a random newspaper.
Yeah, I think we saw an ad in the Metro.
But a few people sent it to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at the time I had a lot of self-doubt about it. And I sort of thought, well, I'm just not going to get picked though. So what's the point? And Mom and dad basically just were like, just send the video off and then they'll get back to you or not. And I just kept hearing back. And then when it got to actually going to the auditions and you're learning these songs, because I got a call back and I thought, oh, okay, this is strange. And I remember going through it with one of my guitar teachers and thinking, oh God, like, what am I doing? Because I'd been playing for a bit by then, but I don't know if I was that technically good, but maybe I was, I don't know. I think at the time I was more interested in skateboarding and stuff with my mates. So I was doing that a lot and I was also doing grades on guitar. It started feeling like a chore and I almost stopped because I was just not enjoying it. And I remember right before School of Rock, I picked up the guitar again and I just thought there was loads of stuff I used to be able to play, but I just couldn't play anymore. And it was just heartbreaking. So I just started working on it, but I was still in between doing skating and playing. And I remember Dad came in and put this post-it note on my door and it just said like, do you want it? Go work for it. And just stuck it on my door. Didn't say anything. He just came in the door and stuck it on the wall. So every time I was in there and I didn't take it off. And I remember that actually did get me. And I just kept going for it. And then the auditions were weird because there were so many people there and all different guitarists that I thought were way better than me. I was quite nervous about singing and acting as well. And obviously it's not just the guitar playing. But by the end of each audition, they'd call people to just go home. And I remember just not hearing my name ever. And then I'd seeing all these people around me just get really upset and then me getting happy. And it just kept going. And then I remember getting to the part and Mum just put the phone down and did the whole, oh, sorry, Jake, like all of that. And then she told me and it was just amazing because it was the first thing I felt like I'd really done on my own. That was the pathway to what I wanted.
Did that make you fall in love with the guitar again?
Oh, 100%, way more.
And I think what happened was that during the backstage stuff, all the guys all played the different instruments. So
yeah,
I think you learned a lot of drums and bass and keyboards and stuff like that. So School of Rock was an education.
It was great, but also just I got way better as a guitar player as well.
And a performer as well.
Oh, of course. And the professional side of it as well. It gave me a lot more of a mature mindset.
How long was that whole?
It was only a year.
Seemed longer because it was a 6-month contract and then a 6-month extension. And then obviously, as you know, the kids grow older, you know, you can't be like, have a beard and be Zach Mooney anymore. So the funniest thing was that several years later, there's still pictures of Jake as part of School of Rock and they appear all over the world. Somebody going on holiday to like, I don't know, Thailand and there's like a picture of Jake.
We were on a tram in Melbourne, I think, and Times Square and all sorts of stuff. And you just think, oh,
no.
Yeah, maybe they got me with that.
So how many times did you go to the show in?
Oh God, it must have been about 40 times, something like that. But the thing is, like, we had to drop them off and then hang around and pick them up again.
Right.
So, you know, I might as well just go and see the show every time. So I could have played the lead character. I knew all the songs and the movements and stuff. Somebody like Julie Finn breaks his leg and is there anyone in the audience that can play the part? Yeah, it was brilliant though. And also a little tip, actually. We would go with not the intention of going to see a show, but then just before the show starts, just before curtain up, you can go to the box office sometimes and then they'll just sell you off a cheap ticket just to fill the seat. I was paying 20 quid for like a 100 quid ticket, you know, in the stalls because it was a single seat and they couldn't sell it.
Proper Yorkshireman.
Yeah, bargain.
There you go.
So I spent less in there than I would have done in the pub.
I think it was here, Jake, you met your friend and bass player Jacob, who you go on to form the band Chapter 13 with.
Yeah. Actually, I met all of them in School of Rock.
Nice.
Me and Tom played the same character because we had 3 teams of kids. So we have 3 of each character. And so me and Tom both played the same character in different teams. And then Noah was the drummer in my team. So we were, from the very first audition, used to playing together. So we were tight anyway, and we just really clicked. And Jacob, actually, he was a completely different part. He was playing like the roadie part, but I'd first seen him, I think he did an audition on the drums, and then he did another audition on the guitar. So I was like, oh, okay, I know he's into music, and he had long hair, and we spoke about loads of different bands and things like that. And then when he joined our team, we just really clicked again and started talking and playing and stuff. And then he ended up playing the drummer, Freddie, for one contract after us. I think he was actually in the show the longest out of any of the kids, which is really weird.
He could still play that part now. He only looks about 12 still.
Oh, I don't know. He's over 5 foot now, bless him. But yeah, and then after that, I was just kind of jamming with Jacob and writing songs that were a bit punky, with a lot of swearing in. And then I started also jamming with Noah and Tom. And I said, oh, I'll ask Jacob if he fancies playing bass, because I remember we were like, oh, okay, let's do a band thing. And Tom said, well, I'm not playing bass, so you're playing bass. And I was like, oh, come on, mate. That can't happen.
Why not?
Because
He forgot who he was speaking to right for a minute.
no offense, but I just
No offense, but
no, but I was little and I didn't cut out for it. So I asked an even littler kid. I pressured him, but no, I said to him,
always the losers, isn't it?
to be fair, he'd never picked up a bass until.
That's what Paul McCartney and John Lennon did to Stuart Sutcliffe. They got him in a corner and says, "You're buying a bass."
Well, yeah, I mean, he hadn't picked up the bass really until the day before our first rehearsal, I think. That was in front of our manager at the time. And yeah, he ended up just really liking playing. I just said, "Oh, why don't you come for a jam?" And then he did. And then, yeah, he ended up loving playing bass.
I remember seeing him playing at the Bodega in Nottingham.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome on bass and it sounds incredible. I spoke to him after. I'm like, who likes some of your players? And he was like, really enough. Oh, I love Duff McKagan and all this kind of
Yeah. He was always low to him as well.
He looks cool. He looks so cool, Jacob.
He looks annoyingly cool.
Yeah.
You get gig photos back, even now, and you're putting all these faces, and then he just looks great in everything, and it's so frustrating.
That's why you have to take the piss out of him all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Just to like bring him down a little bit.
Yeah, grind him, keep him
You look
grounded.
really far away, Jacob. Oh no, you're really small.
Oh, no, honestly, he's got a big heart and very big bass.
Nice. I mean, that band kind of skyrocketed immediately. Got on Britain's Got Talent, got the Golden Buzzer, went on to be managed by Tom Fletcher from McFly, and you go on to tour the UK. I remember watching the Britain's Got Talent event, and I couldn't believe you had the balls to spin your guitar around your neck.
I was thinking about this the other day because I had thought about it and I think I tried it in a rehearsal once and all the guys were like, "Oh, that's really cool." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I got some like the metal strap locks because I didn't trust them little rubber, like the beer cap things. And I just tried it. But I'd said to the camera, "Oh, I'm going to do this. So like, do you want to just pan the camera?"
I was wondering if the cameraman and production team knew you were going to do it.
I told them, but I hadn't tried it. And it was live and it could have gone so wrong, which equally would have been funny.
Well, I remember having a conversation with you, Ian, about Jake saying he was going to do it. I remember you telling me something. You saying like, well, just do it. And if it goes wrong, it goes wrong.
Yeah, we talked a bit about it.
Very briefly,
Yeah.
but only like on the day, I think. And yeah, I mean, it was cool. It worked out. It did tangle my cable a little bit.
It looks epic. I think I've got a gif of it.
It's definitely cool. I'm gonna sort of what's the word? I'm gonna bring that back out.
Would you have the balls to do it now if that opportunity came up again? Would you have the balls to do it, do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's certain guitars I wouldn't do it with just in case. I wouldn't ever do
right.
it with Les Paul because if that goes wrong, I'm gonna be one looking at my broken pride and joy and crying. So it depends on the guitar. But I would definitely do it again.
Fair play. Both of you share such a passion for music. You've been going to gigs together for years. Off the top of your heads, which bands do you both love equally? And are there any bands which totally divide you both?
Oh, that's a good question.
There's one that divides.
Is there?
I quite like Limp Bizkit,
Oh, God. Yeah.
and Dad doesn't.
No. No. No, I don't like them. That's my Limp Bizkit impression.
Fair enough. And I really like Korn. And I know you didn't really like Korn at the start, but I think we've seen them a couple of times and you've been like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I think we both really like Slipknot, don't we?
Yes,
So
we've seen Slipknot. I think we've seen them like 6 times together or something like that.
I mean, I'm a massive Maiden fan, but you're not so much.
I do like Maiden a lot, but I can't really like them as much.
Probably Guns N' Roses we both like a lot, I
Definitely.
think. But yeah, I think probably Slipknot's the one that we most connect on. Yeah.
But definitely bands like Guns N' Roses, but also Maiden as well. The great thing about it is I got a lot of my music tastes from Dad showing me things and stuff that he liked, but then also me finding through that similar bands and finding my own path with it as well. And I think I sort of like a lot more of the 90s grunge and industrially type things more than Dad will.
I was wondering about that because obviously like Matt ad's very much in a grunge and alternative direction. You've cited stuff like Alice in Chains and things. So where does that influence come from? Because for me and your dad, that stuff was huge when we were in our late teens. Is that music seeing a resurgence?
Definitely a resurgence, but I think when I was sort of thinking that style, I think it was just from liking that sort of music and writing that type of music. I really liked the drop tuned guitars and the chunky sort of riffs, big choruses and like really just moody vibes and stuff like that. And also like saw Soundgarden as a pretty good bucket list one. That's one of the ones I'm so grateful I saw.
I think that was one of the things that I'm most proud of as a dad is like to take Jake to see some of these bands, classic bands that people of his age would never experience. So Soundgarden's one, Motorhead, Black Sabbath.
So many more bands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the direction. But then also, when we first met Max, our singer, I remember being in the room and talking about Soundgarden for ages. And also bands like Alter Bridge as well, so more on the modern side, because I thought he had a bit of a Miles Kennedy twang to him. And we were talking about them and Soundgarden. He sent in a video of him singing Cochise by Audioslave, doing this massive long scream note, and it just sounded really cool. And we were talking about that. And then I was more on the Soundgarden side of it than the Alice in Chains side of it. I just didn't really get into them. But then once I met Max and his friend Oscar, I really started listening to like the Dirt album, and then I massively got into them to the point where I probably all I listened to for a long while.
Proper deep dive into it.
Oh yeah, I just didn't get it before like as much, but for some reason it just clicked. And I think now, I mean, I love Soundgarden, but I think I'm even more on the Alice in Chains side of it a lot of the time.
Are you a big Jerry Cantrell fan then?
Oh yeah, definitely. All of our songs are pretty much in that same Alice in Chains E flat and then drop down tuning, just because it sounds so big and tonally like the Marshall sound, and just his voice as well. His voice is such a big part of Alice in Chains. So even now, when they've got, I think it's William on vocals, they still sound like Alice in Chains because of his voice. And I think that's something that we've tried to incorporate with Matted as well, with me and Max sort of bouncing off each other with vocals. Because I think it's always really cool when you do that and when you see that. Like, I can only think of a few bands that really do that. And it's like Alice in Chains, System of a Down is another big Matted influence, Kiss, and then bands like Busted. I always like that. I think that's cool. And we all get in on the backing vocals, but then me and Max sort of switch between the leads a couple of times. I think it's cool. It brings a sort of energy to us.
Right, last question. I want you to time travel to a Friday night in the late 80s or early 90s. I guess your dad would be in London. Jake's still not thought of, but you got a time machine. And you're heading to the video store. What movie soundtrack do you have on your Walkman? And what tapes are you going to rent for the weekend?
It's really difficult to think, I think, from a soundtrack perspective, because I was into so many different weird things, but it could be a combination of Purple Rain,
Nice,
Karate Kid, maybe, and Top Gun. So that would be like sort of theme tunes and stuff.
It's a fight-off between Top Gun and Rocky IV.
Oh, yeah.
There's definitely some great soundtracks. I think soundtrack-wise, the first one that came to my head was like Train Spotting.
Nice, yeah.
I love that soundtrack. And I know it's a little bit more moody, but I love that with all the Iggy Pop stuff. Or what was the one you just said? Karate Kid.
Yeah. They used to be really into Karate Kid.
Get out of that. Yeah, and that soundtrack was definitely good. There's going to be loads I'll be thinking of later.
No, they're pretty stellar. What about films? Do you agree on films like you do music?
I don't know. Obviously, my favourite film of all time, we all know this, An American Werewolf in London. I'm obsessed with it, as you know, Rob. I've got a pub called The Slaughtered Lamb. And
when you moved to London, have you since found all like the location spots?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's weird because in the film, Tottenham Court Road Station is not really Tottenham Court Road Station where they did kind of the filming and things, and the underground's quite a different place. And it's amazing how they managed to get from, certain locations within a few minutes. So it's completely off in terms of the film. But yeah, I absolutely love that movie. John Landis, amazing director.
Was that like a video rental then for you to see that back as a kid?
It was actually, yeah, I think it was a video rental first off. I was not 18. Obviously, we didn't have the ratings of 18, 15, etc. back then. I think it was an X. Was it X? X-rated. So yeah, a bit naughty because I think I was 14, 15 when I first saw it. And then I think the other films I would say, all horror really. Nightmare on Elm Street, Hellraiser.
Do I remember you're a Poltergeist fan as well?
Massive Poltergeist fan, Lost Boys, all of them things. The first Poltergeist movie is such a scary movie. It really is. Even now, I think, if you throw yourself into it.
Such a sweet movie as well, though. It's such a magical film as well for me. I don't know why. To me, it's like perfect American suburban.
Yeah.
Until shit goes down. It's like nails that vibe.
They should never have built it on the graveyard, should they really? No.
How about you, Jake? Come on, change it up for us.
Because we're going on the horror thing as well, I would go the original Halloween because I really like that and I have good memories of that, just being shit scared with the Chaps 13 lot watching that in a house that we didn't know and we knew we were on our own, but it was a weird thing, but we were all just shitting ourselves, but it was great. And then I'd probably go for Crossroads.
Nice.
Which is one of my all-time favorite films. That end scene with Steve Vai in it, I've watched that end scene countless times. Sometimes I wouldn't even watch the whole film. I'd just watch that bit. So I'd go with that and then maybe I'd go for something funny either some Beavis and Butthead or Wayne's World because it's just classic and it's great fun.
Great choices.
Or The Tap.
Oh, yes, Spinal Tap. No, can't forget the tap.
What was your introduction to Spinal Tap, Jake? Do you remember?
Hearing the quotes.
Okay.
Again and again and again.
But it's great.
No bones. Back in the day, I think Spinal Tap was one, but we also, in Waterbrats, we knew back to front the tapes from Bad News as well.
Yeah.
So everything from the series. But they also released albums. We would just listen to them on journeys and it would just be hilarious.
Steel Panther wouldn't stand a chance, would they?
They haven't got a clue. No. Obviously, we're going on a little tour, aren't we, Rob? With Jake.
We are, yes. I'm looking forward to seeing Matt, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
3 nights on the trot.
Yeah, we'll show them how to play, eh?
We will.
You see what a proper band's like.
All right.
The needful things. Well, the thing is, you'll have to try and blow us off stage every night. And then, it will raise our game. That's what we want.
Well, we can try and just get rid of the stage while you're like in the toilet or something like that. We just start moving stuff, destroying the stage. Then it'll be fair game.
Yeah.
We got it. The baton's laid down.
I can't wait. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you for chatting with me.
Always a pleasure. Lovely, mate.
Well, I shall see you guys next week.
Hell yeah.
You certainly will. Cheers, Rob.
Yeah.
Bye.
Big up and thanks to Ian and Jake Slack for joining me on today's show. That was really fun to do, and I look forward to rocking some shows out on the road with the Needful Things next week. We have 3 headline gigs coming up as you listen to this on the 4th, 5th and 6th of June in London, Nottingham and Barnsley. Jake's band Mattered, who you can find at mattered.uk, will be rocking every show with us too, so it'll be a fun night and hope some of you can come along. Now elsewhere over at our 80s video shop there's lots and lots going off. We've just put tickets on sale for a special Chuck Norris tribute evening which will be hosted by our pals and YouTube movie critics Oliver Harper and Rob Hill. This will be the second event they've done at the shop, and if you're a fan of their channels then you don't want to miss it. Tickets are on sale now, and we've also just announced our 4th birthday event, which is going to be on Saturday the 18th of July, with special guest Simon Williamson, who performed as Max Rebo in the Star Wars movie Return of the Jedi. So to stay up to date on these and other events, please follow us on whatever social media platform you choose, simply at 80s Video Shop. But feel free to come and visit us at the weekends when we're open Saturdays and Sundays from 11 till 3. So that is all for this episode of the podcast. So until next time, make sure to always be kind, please rewind and unwind, and I'm sure I'll speak to you all again real soon.